G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. Alright, today out in the garden, we are definitely into winter now. It is cold out here, so we'll take a bit of a tour around and see where things are up to. Also got a couple of things that I want to take a harvest of, so let's go have a look. Okay, also what I'm going to do today is show you a few things that you haven't seen. That hedge that's behind me in all of my intros, it's actually a pomegranate tree. It's not a great pomegranate tree, but it does grow little pomegranates. And as you can see, the birds get a great hold of them. Now I have picked some out of it and made a pomegranate molasses, which is a recipe that I've got coming up along the way. But yeah, just a little background that you don't normally see. All right, people keep asking me about the size of my yard. This is my gardening space. As you can see, it is not a big space. I work in a very small space and I've been told that, hey, it doesn't look that small on the videos. So yeah, this is the space I work in, folks. It's not huge. So let's have a look what's going on in the garden. So front bed, that's pretty much just down to the jalapenos, which I've still got to pick and make up another lot of cowboy candy. We got the herbs still going on. So basil's just about done for the year. It's got its seeds set. Little eggplant, that's pretty much done, though it is still putting out flowers in these cold temperatures. So we'll see if it wants to hang around for the winter or whether it wants to die. I have finally picked the last of my grandma pumpkins, so that one's going inside. All this pumpkin plant is slowly going to the chickens for their winter greens. That where I clean up some of the grass, the grass clippings go out to them. It's full of seeds, so I don't want it in my compost barrel. So just taking the grass clippings rather than put it in a green waste bin and send it off site. It can go to the chickens and they get their greens out of it. Our little paprikas, these things are stars. Getting very close to that harvest time. You can see there's a lot of deep red. It's just looking awesome. Just looking absolutely great. So yeah, getting very close to picking on these, which I am looking forward to, and looking forward to making some homemade smoked paprika. We have our beetroot. This is the cylindrica beetroot. Not really bulbing up too much anymore, and it may well come to the point where I just go, yeah, that's enough, and pull it out and pickle it. But at the moment it's sitting there, it's not really hurting anything, so it's fine. We also have our other little beetroot bed. Again, not putting that much size on the bulbs. May end up picking it. We'll just see what happens. The pepper bed, for the weather we're getting, these things are doing amazingly well. Could have picked them all off green, but as you can see, I'm getting a lot of color coming through. Gorgeous little red peppers. The orange bell, and I really want that one for the seed. I have got some off the orange banana peppers, and I've got some seed off the red sweet peppers as well. Okay, spinach bed. This thing's just not kicking along. Every time it seems to come up, the plant that's come up seems to get knocked down. I'm continually getting more plants up, but they continually keep getting knocked down. There's a little one there. Where are we? There's a little one there. One over there. The one I had over here was blown out in the wind that we had the other day. Here we are at the potatoes, and this will be our first harvest for the day. So I think this guy's number is up. As you can see, it is starting to shoot up again. but I think it's time to pop it out and have a harvest on it. All right, as you can see, not a huge amount of potatoes coming out of that. But yeah, this is the second harvest out of that bucket this year, and there's 2 meals of potatoes for me in there. So you can't be disappointed in that, you know. Considering I started with probably 3 potatoes that size in the bucket, and it's returned to me a fair bit. So yeah, absolutely over the moon. All right, Frank's piece, absolutely kicking goal. All the peas have been beaten around. We had some really storm force winds, caused some property damage during the week. But yeah, so the peas have copped a beating, but still growing strong. So really happy. So plenty there. Need to take some in, pot them up, and have them for dinner. And again with these climbing beans here, not all these pods are filled out perfectly. These ones are, but yeah, and there's a few meals to come yet on this one. Still growing strong, still looking great. Over in the middle bed, these ones, as you can see, they've just started a blooming. Absolutely wonderful. So yeah, again, very happy with them. Okay, a little bok choy. This is getting at the stage where I can harvest outside leaves, so I can start harvesting them in singles and putting them into some stir fries and that sort of thing, which is great. That turnip I still haven't come up with a meal for, so if you've got any turnip meal ideas, throw it down underneath, you know, and let's see what I can make. All right, the black Russian kale, this one at the front, still copping a bit of a bug hammering, but as I said last time, I'm happy for this one to get it, and the birds clean off the bugs, because it means these little fellows under here aren't getting the bug pressure. That bell pepper, yeah, look, it's got a bunch of fruit on there, but I might just nip it off because it's not really going to go anywhere. And this one here, we have a couple of peppers that are still ripening. The issue you do have going into the colder months though is where it does get hit by frost. Now this is one I had to pick off today. As you can see, got hit by frost, it's damaged and starting to pick up some mold spots. So that one is absolutely useless now. So sometimes it's better to harvest them green rather than push your luck and see where you get to. Our other little raised bed, these watermelon radishes, just going great guns. They are absolutely delicious roasted. So really happy with them. And again, as you can see, they've picked up a bit of bug pressure. You know, but it's not going to hurt me if the bugs are hitting these rather than hitting the kale, rather than hitting the leafy greens. I'd much rather them hitting this than the leafy greens. This bell pepper, yeah, look, it's really pushing it. It's pretty much had its day, but you know, that one's just about almost ripe, and I really want the seed off that one, so I'm letting it push, and hopefully I will get that one at least ripe. Maybe even these ones. You can see they're starting to pick some color up, so here's hoping. All right, the spinach, as you can see, we're getting the baby spinach leaves. I can start picking these as baby spinach. but I want them to get a bit more size on. The leeks in here are starting to take off, which is awesome. Very happy with those. So let's just see what happens. Little mini cauliflowers, not exactly setting the world on fire, but they're not dying either. And I have popped a couple of cabbages, the mini cabbages, in here as well. The container got blown about during the windstorm, so I copped a bit of damage. Had to throw some things in the ground that I wasn't really ready to put in. Yeah, these beans are about had their day. As you can see, died off, drying pods. So the ones that are filled up, I'll take those for seed. We've still got a couple that are growing, so we'll just leave them be until they come through. But yeah, time to start picking out the ones that have been successful. And next we come up to the peanut, which is dying back. So this will be my second harvest for the day. Right, I have no idea how well we're going to go on here. I've only grown peanuts once before and that failed completely. So let's have a look see. Oh, we have great big worms in the container. And it is pretty wet in here. Oh, and there we have it. I successfully grown at least one peanut. Okay, there we go. If I was growing peanuts for a living, yeah, I wouldn't be making much of a living. But I only got 8 actual seeds back out of, what did I put in? I think I put about 12. So it's not a bad return considering how miserable and wet a summer we had. We didn't have the high temperatures that peanuts generally require. So, not disappointed. The other thing to think about is what it's done to the soil. Over here we have the soil that's come out of the potatoes. As you can see, it's still that garden compost looking stuff. You know, it's got fine pieces of pine bark and that sort of thing in it. You know, it's been chewed down a bit, so it's not the same as a new compost, but it's a lot better. If we have a look at what came out of the peanuts. Now this stuff, obviously it's wetter, but you know, pretty much received close to the same fertilizer, a little bit less nitrogen. But this stuff is actually broken down and it's turned into humus now. You know, so this stuff is gold as far as the garden's concerned. So growing the peanuts is definitely worth it just for the fact that it produces this. And I can dilute this down, spread it out through the garden, and it's going to increase the nutrient content of the whole garden. This fella here, this was absolutely full of worms, absolutely full of them. which shows that it's doing really well. It's some nice healthy soil doing well. So we want to grab the microbes and all of that sort of stuff, and we want to spread that out through the garden. So yeah, I am absolutely over the moon with what it's achieved. That stuff's amazing. That is some amazing soil, considering it started out as this stuff, and it's the exact same stuff. As you can see, this one will not survive a pinch test. This has turned a party. So yeah, putting the peanuts in there with the correct bacteria in them, I am 100% loving what that's done for the garden. Last little section, we've got our okra. Doesn't look like it's going to make it through the winter. Oh well, that doesn't matter. We've got our sweet potato. As you can see, cold weather's starting to knock it back a bit. Yeah, I can take it inside and that sort of gimmick. It's getting by, so I'm happy to leave it out here for now. If it keeps going, great. If it dies off, oh well. You know, if I get my hands on some plastic, I might greenhouse around them or something. But at the moment, you know, they're kicking along, and hopefully they're going to give some production into next year once it starts warming up. So pretty happy with them. And as per normal, we'll finish out with the chooks. As you can see, girls are there waiting for a bit of breakfast. We have young Betty there, and over there we have young Mr. Tails with Bob over there eating a bone. Leftover peanuts, bit of plantain, some grass that I weeded out of the front. Drop that in there for him. As you can see, the grass in here, obviously it's suffering due to winter. For some reason we have an egg laid out here. I'll have to have a discussion with the girls as to what's going on there. Betty has started laying her eggs. That is way too big for her. That looks like it is an egg from Miss Frilly. But yeah, Betty's just started laying her eggs. Thank you very much everyone for watching, and bye for now.